won't stop till I hear him say,
Okay, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video breakdown. Massive video breakdown for you all today, discussing in detail Ripple and Hedera hash graph. I'm also going to be giving you guys a price prediction and updated analysis of where it is that I'm going to start dollar cost averaging into Hedera hash graph. Being fully transparent with you all, if you enjoy deep dives like this, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. We still have a certain percent of our viewers that are still unsubscribed to the channel. So if you're not subscribed, we ask that you take it upon yourself real fast to just take a second and subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate the love and the support. Smash that thumbs up button if you all enjoy deep dives like this. In today's video breakdown specifically, we're going to be going down the rabbit hole. I'm going to share some video clips with you all. I'm going to share some fundamentals with you all, why I'm so heavily invested in Hedera hash graph alongside Ripple's XRP. We're going to be talking about carbon credits. We're going to be talking about construction industry supply chains. We're going to be talking about potentially CBDCs operating offline. With that being said, again, ladies and gentlemen, stick around to the end of this video breakdown and I'll give you guys my updated analysis on my bearish targets for Hedera hash graph, where I'm going to be looking to dollar cost average in. With that being said, let's jump down the rabbit hole and go over this research first. Again, this is going to be a little bit of a longer video breakdown, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this deep dive. Alrighty, so let's talk about some of this bombshell research that in the CYPRX research PDF chat, one of our research team members, Anthony, shared. So shout out to you, Anthony. I cannot stress enough how valuable and just monumental this information is, connecting the rabbit hole. I dug a little bit deeper and I'm going to continue to go down the rabbit hole via some of the information that you shared. So we have a couple of video clips in today's video breakdown that we're going to be sharing. I want you all to be paying attention to detail to what these individuals are saying. That we're going to be piecing parts of the breadcrumbs in the puzzle together via some fundamentals and some documents. This has been a transformation that has been ongoing for over 10 years now. Well, almost 10 years now, starting all the way back in 2014, 2015 era, compared to some of these documental dates. Very interesting connections across the board. And it's just interesting how these elite individuals, they never really truly disclose what they're actually doing, who their partners are. It is up to the individual, you as a market participant, to take it upon yourself to go and connect these dots. The elites aren't just going to go flat out and just be like, yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that. No, you got to go and put parts of the breadcrumbs together. So this is me in an attempt to do that for you all. All right, make sure that if you enjoy this content, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. We do appreciate the love and the support. Again, shout out to you, Anthony, for allowing us to go down this rabbit hole today. So here I have a ABC News briefing from the 3rd of March, 2023, where they talk about this Australian CBDC pilot program and who's leading this. We have Dilip Rayo. Now we're going to connect Dilip Rayo to Ripple and Hedera hash graph in today's video breakdown via some documents. Like I said, I have also a couple of video clips that we're going to be paying attention to key vocabulary. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the first part of this video clip where they just talk about this CBDC pilot program.
Reserve Bank has called in the support of a number of the nation's biggest banks to run a pilot on the use of a national digital currency. Earlier, I spoke to Dilip Rao from the Digital Finance Cooperative Research Centre, who's running the project.
Okay, so just to show you guys that Dilip Rao is running the research project, okay, we're going to head over to LinkedIn and we're going to connect Dilip Rao to Ripple first off, starting. He worked at Ripple 5 years, 6 months. In this role, it goes on to say, from Dilip Rao, I lead Ripple's engagement with central banks and financial market infrastructures in their digital journey with distributed ledger technology. Ripple offers proven technology, building blocks, and a consultating approach to innovating in national and regional payments, infrastructure, and the use of crypto assets. It's coming from Dilip Rao, 5 years at Ripple, right? So coming over here, this is an article that came out November 9th, 2022. So this was last year, towards the end of the year, where they had announced Australian CBDC pilot project. Goes on to say the Reserve Bank is collaborating with the Digital Finance Cooperative Research Centre that Dilip Rao is leading on a research project to explore use cases for central bank digital currencies in Australia. Then just recently, this year, this came out on the 4th of March, 2023. We saw an update with that where the Australian CBDC pilot program launched officially, right? So moving through this website, you can see the pilots, the partners, the use cases. We see right here, Australian CBDC pilot use cases. I want you all to pay attention to some of the more interesting ones that are going to play a role as we scale through this breakdown. One of the major ones that we're going to connect in full circle at the end of this is Mastercard. We see the Mastercard logo right here where they talk about interoperable CBDC, trusted Web3 commerce. Okay. But we also see ANZ, we see Commonwealth Bank, and we see NC, the not centralized construction supply chain payments company right here. Okay. First of all, we're just going to pay attention to ANZ and Commonwealth Bank and how I told you guys that this has been a process that is being fine-tuned and integrated into our payment infrastructure behind the scenes. And the reason why people don't think that this is going to happen is because, number one, research like this didn't exist back in the early days of the internet, where you could take it upon yourself to kind of dive a little bit deeper into these potential companies that are going to revolutionize our payment system, just like how back in the day, there were companies that existed like Google, Amazon, Microsoft that you could have done research on had the internet actually existed back then to truly see how these companies were going to revolutionize the world. Do you think that back when Microsoft was telling everybody on the radio, that they were going to revolutionize technology, that everybody was listening to the radio and listening to Microsoft at the time, or reading newspapers where they were coming out with articles every single day that they were going to do so? No, they weren't. So people were sleeping on it. Now everybody has access to this information and people don't really truly believe it because it's never happened before. Okay. This digital revolution, this is only going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity. Okay. Once it switches, it's never going to go back to normal. It's going to be a permanent change. Okay, just like how when the internet was created, the internet cannot be recreated again. It can only be done once, right? So ANZ Commonwealth Bank, here we see this is back from June 9th, 2015. Australia's big four banks, ANZ and Westpac, test out Ripple payments, right? And what are they? They are in connection with this CBDC pilot. We also see Commonwealth Bank right here. Commonwealth Bank all the way back in the day. This came out 8 years ago. Here we go. Not a specific date, but 8 years ago. Okay. So again, like I said, it's been in the works for quite some time. Commonwealth Bank of Australia to partner with the Ripple network. Now, one that I want to pay more so attention to is the not centralized construction supply chain payments. We're going to get into that in just 1 second. But first, I want to play another video clip from Dilip Rao, where he talks about the examples of these potential CBDC use cases. In particular, he talks about trading carbon credits. He talks about using CBDCs in construction, specifically in the construction industry, where they're looking to utilize these CBDCs for payments only when a specific service or product has been delivered to its customer. And then the last part of Dilip Rao's little tiny statement in this news briefing is where they talk about the offline usage of CBDCs and how they need to create a payment infrastructure where, in worst case scenario, there's a cyber attack or some type of catastrophic event, we can still utilize our payment infrastructure, i.e. this new CBDC digitalized payment infrastructure, if the internet goes down or if payments go offline because of some catastrophic event, right? And that's all going to tie us into Ripple. And the other two things I talked about, trading carbon credits, is going to tie us into Hedera alongside with the construction industry. Okay, so just listen to what Dilip Rao here has to say.
Participants to put in submissions. We received over 140 submissions, which will be part of the research. But we have now selected 14 of those to actually trial in what we call a real money experiment, which means they will be using a CBDC, which is a real liability of the central bank. So there's been a huge amount of industry interest. And so we're going to be running a pilot project over the next few months, which will test out some of these problems and whether they're well solved by CBDC. I'll give you some examples if you're interested. One of them, for example, is for the trading of carbon credits. Another one relates to usage in the construction industry so that people can have certainty of getting paid, but you can program the payment so that the payment goes out only when the service or product has been delivered. So there are a variety of these examples. Another one comes to mind is the offline use of CBDC. So typically today we're used to everything being online 24/7, but what if there was a catastrophe, a national disaster, for example, or a cyber attack and communication networks are out of order? Could a CBDC be used in an offline environment for people to trade and buy things, essential goods and services, until the outage is resolved?
Okay, so just remember at all times that nothing is by accident, everything is by design, and these elite individuals plan everything out years in advance. So if they're planning and building this new financial infrastructure for a potential outage, think about this in the future. How do you realistically think that they're going to get everybody to transition to this digitalized economy? There's going to be some type of catastrophic event that needs to take place, in my personal opinion. I've talked about this multiple times. Maybe we'll get into that in another video breakdown. But the fact that they're planning for this should be a red flag to everybody that it will eventually one day happen and come into fruition. Because, like I said, they plan this stuff out years in advance. As you all saw, these documents right here, these fundamentals came out 8 years ago, right? This one came out from 2015. So it's been planned for quite some time. But now let's focus in on Hedera Hashgraph. Take a second and pause from Ripple real fast, where Dilip Rayo mentioned the examples and the use cases of these CBDCs. And we have the partners right here, not centralized, the construction supply chain payments, and Dilip Rayo mentioning trading carbon credits, okay? So for those of you individuals that don't know, carbon credits, in a sense, are a way to incentivize companies to reduce their carbon emissions. And it allows companies to emit less than their allotted amount of greenhouse gases so that they can sell their unused credits, excuse me, to companies that emit more than their allotted amount. And what this does is this creates a market for carbon credits, which in turn can help reduce emissions and combat climate change, according to these elite individuals, right? And Hedera Hashgraph, from the research that I've done, can be used to create a decentralized marketplace for carbon credits trading. And that plays a massive role. And one of the past examples of Hedera Hashgraph being utilized for this is it was being used for carbon credits trading with a platform called Climate Trade. Now, this is not the example right here. This is from the Hedera.com website, but Climate Trade is a blockchain-based platform that uses Hedera Hashgraph to create a decentralized marketplace for carbon credits trading. Now, on the Hedera.com website, you can go there and it says right here how to trade carbon credits. And you heard Dilip Rayo mention that they are attempting to utilize CBDCs for trading carbon credits. And it goes on to say, I have two highlights from the Hedera.com website. It says, what is the voluntary carbon market? Voluntary carbon markets provide a way for businesses and individuals to improve their carbon footprint. Unlike compliance markets, these markets let companies trade voluntary carbon credits even if governments aren't requiring them to reduce emissions. It goes on to say, voluntary carbon markets give cryptocurrency companies like Hedera a straightforward way to achieve carbon negative operations on their own initiative. And then look at how they end this right here. Distributed ledger technologies like Hedera Hashgraph could be instrumental in scaling the voluntary market and solving known issues within it. So again, straight on the Hedera.com website, it's talking about how monumental Hedera Hashgraph technology is going to be to this whole carbon credit initiative and trading carbon credits in the future. And as you all know, Dilip Rayo just mentioned one of the use cases and examples for the CBDC pilot program for the Australian CBDC is trading carbon credits. Now, interestingly enough, another connection to Hedera Hashgraph with this whole CBDC program is we see the non-centralized construction supply chain payments company right here, okay? And if we come over here, we also heard Dilip Rayo mention the usage of distributed ledger technology, CBDCs, in the construction industry, right? Where they're looking to utilize this technology to commence payments only when the service or product has been delivered. You guys heard Dilip Rayo say that. Well, check this out. The not centralized project team right here, you guys can see Hedera is mentioned and highlighted in purple. It goes on to say the problem via the construction company, right? Where you guys heard Dilip Rayo again mention, he's not just going to come out and be like, oh yeah, we're utilizing Hedera, we're testing Hedera. No, but here you guys can see Hedera being mentioned in the same platform or same fundamental as a construction company. And you guys heard Dilip Rayo say specifically being utilized in construction. Here it goes on to say a solution: programmable payments using digital escrow, plus proof of reserves, automated payment on agreed milestones, triggered by an independent construction oracle, streaming payments for time-based provision and services materials. Okay, so it's literally telling you all that once a payment will be commenced, once a product or service is being delivered, that's what they're going to utilize this technology for. Last but not least, how they end this, it says, the project includes a consortium of members to test out this use case and showcase the power of composability in blockchain projects not centralized, is working with Hedera. Interestingly enough, again, not centralized is a partner of this Australian CBDC pilot, right? So connect the two. Heading back to the last thing, so we covered carbon credits in connection with Hedera Hashgraph, how they're going to revolutionize the carbon credit industry. We now have just covered the usage of Hedera Hashgraph in the construction company for timed payments only when a service or product has been delivered, in connection with not centralized, that's in connection with the CBDC Australian pilot program. Don't forget this Mastercard logo right here. We're going to full circle this. We went over Commonwealth Bank. We went over ANZ. Let's jump back to Ripple now. So the last thing, the third example that Dilip Rayo had mentioned here that they're going to be testing is the use of distributed ledger technology and CBDCs offline, just in case, worst case scenario, some type of catastrophic event takes place and happens, right? Well, I want to take your attention to this article right here that came out in 2021 that a lot of people, I believe, are sleeping on, that they forget the XRP Ledger development team came out with. XRP Ledger payments could go offline with new proof of payments protocol. Interestingly enough, Dilip Rayo worked for Ripple or is still working for Ripple. I'm not too sure. I haven't dug a little bit deeper. I don't know if he is or he used to. I don't know what the case is with that, but check this out, okay? Offline payments might soon feature on XRPL as developers at XRP Ledger Labs, the software company behind XRPL-based digital payment solutions, recently revealed the prototype of their proof of payments protocol. During a presentation at the Apex Developer Summit, XRPL Labs developers showcased a demo of XPOP, the proof of payments protocol that will equip the blockchain to initiate XRPL-based transactions without an internet connection.
Could a CBDC be used in an offline environment?
Mind-blowing, huh? Right? How it's all interconnected, right? How Dilip Rayo was mentioning the three use cases or the three examples of how they're going to be piloting and testing this technology: carbon credits, construction supply chain payments, and offline usage, right? It's just hilarious how it's all pieced together and connected. Now, coming over here to that presentation, I'll just play a little video clip of when they presented this to the world a year ago. Again, where they're talking about the offline usage of the XRP Ledger.
Internet of Things devices and so on and so forth. And most of them don't have a connection to the internet. So wouldn't it be really nice if we could pay for something via the XRP Ledger and then prove that we paid for it to an offline device? So that's the basic crux of the problem that we're trying to solve. So we need to prove a payment was successfully made without both sides being connected to the internet.
They need to make sure that a payment can be processed if the internet is cut off, if the connection is cut, okay? You guys see what I'm saying, how it's all connected? It's literally crazy. Now, to full circle this and come back to CBDC's Ripple Hedera Hashgraph, okay? Last but not least, major connections here. We're going to go back to the Australian CBDC pilot use case, and we already covered ANZ, we covered NC, we covered Commonwealth Bank, and I want you all to pay attention to this Mastercard logo right here, okay? So now let's jump into that. This is a PDF where at the beginning of this recording, I told you all that these elite individuals, they're not going to go out flat out and tell people this information. Well, here's a PDF that literally says that these central bankers are not being transparent to the general public with this information. It goes on to say, the Bank for International Settlements, the BIS, can be considered as the central bank of central banks. Let me zoom in for you all so you all can follow along. And it's currently the major hub for most of the studies on CBDCs. Interoperability will be critically important for CBDCs, as well as the legislative structure and regulations. When considered together with the prominence of MCBDC, a joint coordinated effort across the globe is crucial to address the involved issues, among other things. This is not only a technical or technological challenge, but it also builds on the will to cooperate. It goes on to mention Ripple is a payment solution company that also manages the Ripple cross-border payment network. Ripple aims to be the technology provider for central banks. It has recently piloted a private version of its open source XRP ledger with a solution for CBDCs. This is the last part where it says that these individuals, these elite individuals, don't and aren't transparent to the general public. Interestingly, there is no central bank or any other public institution on the list other than the BIS and Bundesbank. There is a survey report of the BIS central bank intentions and active involvements in issuing CBDCs, where it is shown that a large portion of central banks continue to work towards issuing CBDCs. However, central banks might not be revealing what they have accomplished with the public as they keep their communication confidential with the other relevant public authorities. Boom, right there, it literally tells you in this PDF that these individuals are not being transparent with the general public. They don't want people to know what they're doing behind the scenes. All of these connections, pieces of the breadcrumb, parts of the puzzle that we're putting together here at CYPRX, via some of the CYPRX researchers, these documents, connecting the dots, nobody else is doing this. Just like how back in the early internet days, nobody could do it, but now we can, and we are, right? And if that's not enough or crazy enough for you all, both Ripple and Hedera Hashgraph are mentioned on this PDF. Real fast, let's just look at Hedera. It says right here, although it has a number of serious competitors such as Corda, Ethereum, Stellar, and Hedera, Ripple ranks third on the list and seems to have gotten the fruits of its marketing endeavors to become the technology provider for central banks. So it says right here that Hedera is a running competitor to be utilized by central banks alongside Ripple, right? Interesting. Now, if you all remember when this PDF came out, I think I covered this maybe like sometime last year, towards the end of the year, but this is from the currency research, and it's a PDF labeled Decoding CBDCs. Now, interestingly enough, Ripple and Hedera are the spotlight of this PDF. We're not going to get into this PDF. What I want you all to focus on, remember I told you guys about Mastercard and why this company currency research is important and plays a role in this Australian CBDC pilot to full circle everything. I told you guys to remember this Mastercard logo, right? So people would be like, oh, you know, this currency research report is just a research report from this company and it's no big deal. And they just picked Ripple and Hedera for no reason, blah, blah, blah. You know the excuses, okay? You really seriously cannot make this stuff up. Well, let's just go over to the currency research report website real fast. Here's currencyresearchreport.com, okay? And let's check out their list of partners. Mind-blowing stuff right here to connect it all. We scroll down here, we see FIS, partner of Ripple, either indirectly or directly. We come down here. Remember, I told you guys to pay attention to that Mastercard logo. Here's Mastercard right here, who is a partner of the currency research platform. Who else do we see on here? Scrolling down here, some other major key partners. We see Visa, VocalLink, sponsored by Mastercard, Swift, right? It's all interconnected. You can seriously not make this stuff up. Again, remember, currency research created a PDF talking about how Ripple and Hedera Hashgraph to full circle are going to be implemented in this CBDCs. And who's a partner, again, of currency research? Mastercard, who is also a partner of the Australian CBDC pilot program. I mean, you guys cannot make these connections up. It is so intertwined. It is a deep web of connections. And if you can't see it, again, just like the individuals that were sleeping on the internet technology back in the early days, there's going to be people that are sleeping on this. And I'm sure that here at CYPRX, the majority of individuals watching this content, it's not financial advice. Take it upon yourself to do your own personal research. I'm not telling you guys to go out there and buy Hbar or anything like that. I'm not telling you guys to invest your hard-earned money into this cryptocurrency space. I know what it is that I'm doing. Providing this information to you all now can move accordingly. Don't pay attention to the FUD, pay attention to the details. And the details is that these elite individuals are not being transparent to the general public. And you as an individual are going to have to go and connect these dots yourselves, or just watch a channel like ours where we do it for you. So with that being said, many blessings to you guys. I hope that you all enjoyed these connections in this video breakdown. We talked about carbon credits, connected that to Hedera Hashgraph. We talked about the construction industry supply chain, connected that to Hedera Hashgraph. We talked about the offline usage of the XRP ledger and how they are experimenting and piloting CBDCs to potentially run off that. How Dilip Rayo, all the way at the beginning of his LinkedIn profile, is engaging with central banks, working for Ripple. Ripple, again, connected to the XRP ledger and whatnot, who created a potential solution to offline payments, right? You cannot make these connections up, ladies and gentlemen. Many blessings. Okay, so hopefully you all stuck around for the entire deep dive video breakdown. Hopefully that was some mind-blowing information, connecting the dots for you all. Now let's get into the price predictions that I've been giving you all since the beginning of the year on Hedera Hashgraph, being very transparent with you all, okay? Letting you all know how it is that we trade here at CYPRX. I tweeted out for you guys, being very transparent with the CYPRX students about the potential pullback opportunities that I'm looking for in crypto prices since the beginning of the year. Imagine being part of a community that is well informed ahead of the general retail herd. Can you imagine all the individuals looking at the Hedera Hashgraph charts that don't know how to read charts properly and were FOMOing in after this massive surge in price happened, buying up here at around 10 cents or 9 cents and some change, right? I couldn't imagine. Here at CYPRX, I am very transparent with the CYPRX students. Here are some screenshots from our private group chat. Again, anybody that wants access to our private group chat, you have to be enrolled in our private mentorship program. The link for that is in the description down below. You guys can always visit the cyprx.teachable.com website to enroll. But I said to the students on the 24th of January of this year, patience. And I sent them this screenshot of some bearish targets that I'm going to be looking to enter in on Hedera Hashgraph for some dollar cost averaging positions, building my Hbar bag, making sure that I do not buy price action at tops. And the first bearish target of 58500 is about to come into fruition, as you guys saw from the updated charts in the live market as of right now. Showing you guys how transparent we are with the students, I also said to them, in this screenshot, and again, this is not me giving the students financial advice. This is just me telling them what it is that I'm looking for in the market and what it is that I'm doing. I said to them on the 5th of February, while the DXY is gaining strength, we have the potential to be patient and wait for discounts again. With that being said, remember, lower prices are not guaranteed. However, if this DXY price action plays out, I will be looking to capitalize on some more discounted utility coin prices. Now, in this tweet, I talked about the DXY. I want to take your attention to show you all how transparent we are with the community and the public via the individuals that follow us on YouTube and Twitter. If you guys go back and watch this video, which aired a month ago, labeled Hbar, I talk about the DXY strength and the potential discounted prices that we could get across the crypto board if we're patient and we wait for this potential price action on the DXY to play out. Go back, fact check us, watch this video breakdown where we talk about a month ago what's happening via the DXY strength that we're seeing now in the market, right? Again, sharing our analysis with you guys and being very transparent with what it is that we're doing here at CYPRX. I also said to the CYPRX students here, this is on the 1st of March, I'm keeping an eye on Hbar price action, and I would love to scoop up some more Hbar underneath of 6 cents. I feel like we could see a pullback down into 5.5 cents. Let's see. And I sent them this screenshot. Again, heading over to where Hbar is now, we are on the verge of breaking that 6 cent psychological level. Showing you guys again how transparent we are with the CYPRX students. This is all information that I don't display to the general public. This is all in our private group chat. Now, moving on over here, just to show you guys what it is that we display to you all on Twitter. If you don't follow us on Twitter and you want some of this analysis that we do give to the general public, make sure that you're following us on YouTube and make sure that you follow us on Twitter. The link for the Twitter is in the description down below, alongside our mentorship program, also in the link in the description. I said to you guys back in January, the first example of this DXY screenshot would be positive for risk on assets, where we specifically talked about and mentioned the 103.800 major historical psychological level on the DXY. Failing to break above that would have caused another leg down on the DXY, Now, we did not create another leg on the DXY, and the other outcome of the screenshot that I sent you guys has now come into fruition, where I said to you all in the second example, this would not be good for risk on assets, which now we are seeing play out. So being transparent with you all, the general public, again, individuals that aren't part of our private group chat, following us on Twitter, again, this came out January 23rd, 2023, where I said to you guys in this screenshot, if we break above the 103.800 psychological level, this would be bad for risk on assets, which we currently are seeing the DXY do as we speak, which is causing this drastic pull down in the cryptocurrency markets, where we've heard Jerome Powell mention a potential rate hike increase from the Federal Reserve, which is causing this bearish price action and this pullback on cryptocurrency assets across the board, again, in my personal opinion. Now, if you guys want an updated analysis on what we're projecting for the DXY, which still remains relevant to this day, go back and watch this video on our YouTube channel labeled Hbar. Get ready, the US dollar is gone. With that being said, many blessings to you all. If you all enjoyed this in-depth video breakdown, being very transparent with what we are doing here at CYPRX in the markets, again, projecting logical target areas for you all that have now come into fruition in the form of technical, fundamental, and psychological analysis. Make sure that you smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. As always, make sure that you do your own personal research. I, and none of these posts, am telling you guys to go out and buy Hbar. I'm being very transparent with what it is that I'm doing in the market with my students. I'm not telling you guys to go out and buy Hbar. Do your own personal research. I cannot stress enough that these markets are risky. No matter what cryptocurrency it is that you're investing your money in, you always have the potential to lose the money that you put into this market space. With that aspect in mind, be very cognizant out there, be very aware, and only invest in this market space if you're going to be a market participant with money you are willing to lose. I cannot stress enough. As always, many blessings. Be cognizant, be aware, and I'll see you guys in the next video breakdown.
I won't stop till I hear him say